Welcome everyone, I'm your host Grace Ravyn. This is the Mandela Effect, my experiences. When I was around 13, I was watching a programme with my mum. I can't remember what it was called, but it was about famous musicians. This included Meatloaf. I said to my mum it must be hard for people close to him to talk about him when he is dead. My mum laughed at me and said, "What are you going on about? Meatloaf isn't dead." I have this memory completely of a news report saying that Meatloaf had died from a heart attack. There was a video montage for him on the news talking about his music and appreciating him, the basic stuff they do when a famous person dies. I specifically remember a part of the music video, I'd Do Anything for Love, being part of it, and it compared other musicians who had died in the same way, such as Elvis. My mum thought I was mad. I genuinely had to look it up to be sure he was still alive because I just thought my mum was winding me up. This was years before I came across the Mandela Effect. The Mandela Effect, which is named after Nelson Mandela, is a conspiracy theory where a large group of people remember something being a certain way, but when people go back and look at it, it has changed or is gone from the universe with no reasoning other than it was always like that. It's named after Nelson Mandela, as many people remember Nelson dying in prison years before his actual death. Those who believe may view it as us slipping into another dimension or there being many Earths.
This is our Earth. Let's call it Earth 1. And this second Earth, let's call it Earth 2. This is where Jay claims to be from. And these other Earths, 3, 4, 5, to infinity. All of them are nearly identical to ours, and they all exist at the same time, giving us endless alternatives to what we have here.
Those who don't believe usually just say we have a bad memory, but a bad memory doesn't explain evidence in books, merchandise, and TV shows, to name a few. My second experience with the Mandela Effect is Milkshake. There is a popular milkshake called Yuzu. It was introduced in the 80s. I always remember it being called Yoo-hoo, like the website, which wasn't introduced until 1995. I was born in 1996, but I didn't know about Yoo-hoo until I was around 12 or 13, because that's when I used the internet. I remember being around 8 or 9 years old and coming out of the shop with a bottle of Yuzu and looking at it and saying, "Why is it different?" I used to get Milkshake every week pretty much as a treat, and it was always the same one, so I know it used to say Yahoo. I have asked people before, and some people do remember it the same as me. I know it's just one letter, but it completely baffles me because in my memory it's always a H and never a Z. Still now, whenever I see anything advertised for Yahoo, I instantly think of Milkshake, and every time I see a Yuzu bottle, it doesn't look right to me. One of the most popular Mandela effects is the fact that in Snow White the evil witch says "magic mirror on the wall."
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?
She doesn't say "mirror, mirror on the wall."
Mirror, mirror on the wall, Jean-Claude Van Damme, I'm fine.
This has been put down to there being different versions of the story. However, how do you explain the fact that she says magic mirror in the movie, but the Disney stores sell mugs that say mirror mirror, which aren't associated with the 2012 movie, and people also have books dating back to the 1950s where it says mirror mirror, and it's not a different version of the book, it's a Disney book. I was on the Disney website when I came across these mugs. Why would Disney misquote their own movie? How does that make sense? And why do so many of us remember it as mirror mirror and still now we wouldn't instinctively say magic mirror? Here are some common Mandela effects. Tell me what you think in the comments. Is it Berenstain or Bernstein? How do you spell Froot Loops? Is it Looney Tunes or Looney Toons? Does the Monopoly man have a monocle or not? Is it Sex in the City or Sex and the City? Please leave your answers in the comments. I will leave the answers in the description. Try not to cheat. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video then please like it and subscribe to the channel. Please remember to turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss anything. Thank you.